Discussion and possible action to approve resolution establishing Logan County as a constitutional sanctuary for residents of Logan County, reaffirming that constitutions are formal agreements between we the people, providing governments with limited powers, reserving all other individual rights and liberties to the people, and that the primary duty of all elected officials is to protect those lives, liberties, and properties of the people against all enemies, both foreign and domestic. Gentlemen, this resolution's been sent out to y'all to look at. The county sheriff and I have been in discussion with it as far as his part of the resolution as well, reaffirming that. If there's any questions or discussions,
I just had some phone calls, people asking why we was doing this, because we already have a constitution. I mean, I have no problem with it, but just on their behalf, do we have an elected official or something that don't want to follow the Constitution? That was the question I was asked.
right. So the way I understand what we're doing today is we're reaffirming that there will be attempts, and there have been attempts to establish unconstitutional edicts from various levels of local and state governments and government agencies that don't really follow the Constitution. And this is our statement that we will not support that in Logan County.
So it wasn't a local county official that was refusing to follow the Constitution? We're just making a statement out.
I don't have any specifics. I mean, again, Sheriff Devereaux and I discussed it, not really at length, but back and forth a little bit. And with what's going on at the national level and some of the things that people are talking about trying to implement that would probably be against the Constitution, we wanted to make this statement, and I encourage the board to go along with that if you see so fit to do so.
I thought maybe we was having some local problem within the county, so I was just curious.
There are some folks that would, given the opportunity, that would probably be a little tyrannical with some of their edicts on what they would force businesses to do. And that's kind of where I'm at on this is I don't believe it's government's responsibility to tell a business how to run their business. And so if a business wants to ask people to wear masks or wants to ask them to wear shoes or ask them to want to wear shirts, that's their business. And so they can do that. But it is absolutely not a government's responsibility, and governments have no power to tell a business that they have to do anything.
I agree.
So
I have no problem following the Constitution, so I'll move that we approve.
I second.
okay, with the motion and second, would either one of you two gentlemen like to read the resolution into the minutes, or
Cody has it.
Cody, we don't want to put you on the spot. If you'd like to read it, you're more than welcome to.
I can read the whole resolution, so.
Okay. If you'll stop when you get to the sheriff's part, and I think we'll let the sheriff take on responsibility for his own resolution there.
We're on the last page there.
Yes. Yeah, it'd be the last page.
Whereas the Board of County Commissioners, Board of Logan County, Oklahoma, is the executive body of county government pursuant to the provisions of Oklahoma, is it 42-1-2, whereas each member of the board is required to take an oath of office prior to the assumption of duties as a county commissioner of the county. Whereas the oath of office requires each member of the board to swear to support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Oklahoma, and faithfully, impartially, and diligently discharge the duties of the office of the County of the Commissioners for the county according to law. Whereas the board maintains a strong commitment to all of the rights of the people in the county as stated in the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Oklahoma, including but not limited to the provisions of said Constitution that are stated below, and that are applicable at all times, including but not limited to the declaration of emergencies, including but not limited to the COVID-19 pandemic. Whereas the board opposes the adoption of laws, ordinances, rules, regulations, restrictions, and other governmental document of legal force and unlawfully infringe upon the rights secured by constitutions. Whereas in recent case of Roman Catholic Diocese of Brooklyn, New York versus Andrew M. Cuomo, Governor of New York, 592 U.S. 2020, the Supreme Court of the United States stated that even in a pandemic, the Constitution cannot be put away and forgotten. Whereas the rights of said Constitution stated below appear to be the most in jeopardy at this particular time in our country's history, and that no one should construe the absence of a stated right as protected by the said constitutions to mean that said right is not vigorously supported and protected by the county and its officials and officers. Whereas the First, Second, Fourth, and 10th Amendments of the Constitution of the United States state the following. Amendment 1, Congress shall not make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or the right of the people peaceably and assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievance. Amendment 2, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of the free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Amendment 4, the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue, but upon probable cause supported by oath of affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. Amendment 10, the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution nor prohibited by it to the states are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. Where sections 1, 2, 21, 22, 27, 222, 226, 230, 233, and 237 of the Constitution of the State of Oklahoma state the following. 1. The State of Oklahoma is an inseparable part of the federal union, and the Constitution of the United States is the supreme law of the land. 2. Perfect toleration of religious sentiment shall be secured, and no inhabitant of the state shall ever be molested in person or property on account of his or her mode of religious worship. 2.1. All political power is inherent to the people, and government is instituted for their protection, security, and benefit, and to promote their general welfare. All persons have the inherent right of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and enjoyment of gains of their own industry is 2.2. 2.7. No person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. 2.22. Every person may freely speak, write, or publish his sentiments on all subjects, being responsible for the abuse of that right, and no law shall be passed to restrain or abridge the liberty of speech or of the press. 2.26. The right of the citizen to keep and bear arms in defense of his home, person, or property, or in the aid of the civil power, when thereunto legally summoned, shall be prohibited. Never be prohibited. 2.30. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches or seizures shall not be violated. 2.33. The enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny, impair, or disparage others retained by the people. 237, to preserve the freedom of Oklahomans to provide their health care. A law or rule shall not compel, directly or indirectly, any person, employer, or healthcare provider to participate in any healthcare system.
So my turn?
Yeah, I got it. I'll read this next part. And then we'll,
I'll get to mine.
yeah. Okay, now therefore the following is hereby resolved by the board. The board and county do hereby commit to stand and defend at all times, whether during a state of emergency or otherwise, the rights and liberties of persons in Logan County as guaranteed by the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Oklahoma. Logan County is hereby declared to be a constitutional rights sanctuary county. In addition, we enjoin all municipalities, cities, townships, state agencies and departments, and all local government officials operating within the geographic boundaries of Logan County to uphold their oaths and take due care at all times, whether during a state of emergency or otherwise, not to infringe upon the rights and liberties of the persons and individuals in Logan County as provided for in the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Oklahoma. Review and change, if necessary, any of their ordinances, rules, regulations, orders, policies, practices, and all government documents of legal force for conformity to said constitutions, and adopt affirmative resolutions, proclamations, or commitments similar to this resolution, so stating that their primary reason for being is the protection of rights and liberties of persons and individuals residing in Logan County. So passed and adopted by the Board of County Commissioners of Logan County, Oklahoma, this 15th day of January 2021, attested by the Board of County Commissioners, Logan County, Oklahoma. I'll entertain a motion for adoption.
I'll move that we approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to adopt said resolution. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Motion's approved, the resolution's adopted. Sheriff, if you'd like to read your resolution in support.
I'm going to read my resolution to support a proclamation supporting the protection of rights under the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Oklahoma. Whereas the Sheriff of Logan County supports the above resolution adopted by the Board of County Commissioners of Logan County, Oklahoma on this day of January 15, 2021. Whereas the Sheriff does hereby adopt and incorporate the whereas recitals of the resolution except the first 6 recitals that are specific to the Board of Commissioners as part of the proclamation. Whereas the Sheriff has taken an oath of office to support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Oklahoma, and to faithfully, impartially, and diligently discharge the duties of the office of Sheriff for the county according to law. Whereas the Sheriff maintains a strong commitment to all the rights of the people in the county as stated in the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Oklahoma, including but not limited to the provisions of said constitutions that are stated in the resolution and that are applicable at all times, including but not limited to the declaration of emergencies, including but not limited to the COVID-19 pandemic. Now therefore, the following proclaimed by the Sheriff. The Sheriff does hereby support the declaration of Logan County as a constitutional right sanctuary county. The Sheriff does hereby commit to stand and defend at all times, whether during a state of emergency or otherwise, the rights and liberties of the persons and individuals in Logan County as guaranteed by the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Oklahoma. So proclaimed by the Logan County Sheriff's Office this day of January 15, 2021.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Dan. All right, any further discussion on item 8, or 7, excuse me? Hearing none,